Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's WK Dad. Just thinking about the ban list and all the speculation going about. It seems like Konami wants to push synchros again. Got the next set, Judgment of the Light, with synchros coming, trying to make a comeback. Yeah, what if this was a deck? Glow up bulb, redox, one for one dandy, wombo combos. That. I mean, how fun would that be? I don't think it'd be too much fun, given that I don't know the future of Dragon Rulers, Mermails, Evil Swarm, or Prophecy. Konami seems to put themselves between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, they have these Dragon Tins that they announced, and they have to sell those. Hopefully, the stuff inside of the Dragon Tins are good enough to push it, because they can't push their new sets. I mean, who wants to run Bujins or Noble Knights or Vampires when the old stuff is better, in a sense? I mean, you might think it's boring, but sometimes boring is better. The decks are just better. The 3-axis Fire Fist, 4-axis Fire Fist are going to come into their own. But again, those decks are slow and controlling. Spellbooks just rip that shit apart. Dragon Rulers, with any half decent hand, just tear that shit apart. And, I just don't see that shit moving. I see that shit sitting on the shelves. I see that shit sitting in people's binders. Unless Konami does some kind of magic with their ban list. In my opinion, these are the things I would like to see happen in order for Konami to... Let me rephrase that. If Konami wants to push Judgment of the Light, while at the same time making sure they get maximum profit for for their Dragon Ruler 10s, these are some things that have to happen. Tinky has got to go to 1. I say that because if they hit everything and leave Fire Fist alone, or if they hit everything old and leave Fire Fist alone, then Fire Fist, either 3-axis or 4-axis, becomes the best deck. It's plain and simple. Tinky is a search card. They always devastate search cards, whether it be Reinforcement of the Army, She and Smoke Signal, Heretic's Convocation. I'm trying to think of other cards. Emergency Call. They even hit Emergency Teleport to 1 at one time. So, search cards, they always hit those search cards. Hero Lives, another card I'm thinking of. I mean, Teleport, Hero Lives are special summon, but they also search at the same time, so Tinky would have to go to 1. In terms of Spellbook, Judgment would have to go to 1. And Secrets, or Blue Boy, would have to go to 1. I say that because they have to neuter that deck. I mean, it's just like no fun to play. It's like the opponent's playing Solitaire with Jalgan and Fate and Blue Boy, and you don't get to play any Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's pretty stupid. And with Dragon Rulers, I think that they'd have to put all the bigs to 2 and leave it at that. I don't think they should touch the babies, because the babies by themselves aren't broken. With putting the bigs to 2, you make the deck incredibly inconsistent. It can still do stuff, but it's just not nearly as consistent. And then on top of that, you put Rejuvenation to 1. I mean, who's going to play Rejuvenation? You'll see it too late, or you'll open with a Saki like Six Samurais do with Gateway of the Six. So, I mean, putting the bigs to 2 and Rejuvenation to 1 is enough to neuter that deck, in my opinion. Evil Swarms. I know you guys like Evil Swarm. You think it's a fair deck, but it is not a fair deck. Any deck that plays cards that say you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh is not a fair deck. Because of Ophion, plants can't see the light of day. Any of Konami's pet rank 8s, 6, 7s, or rank 9s, or rank 11s can't see play, because Ophion just tanks on board, and you can't bring any of your level 11s, excuse me, or anything like that out. Agents are no longer a deck because of Ophion. Hieratics are not a deck because of Ophion. I mean, it just completely eliminates a game mechanic, especially something high-level monsters. And in my opinion, Ophion should go to 1. That means you have to protect the Ophion even harder, kind of like you have to protect the Six Samurai Shin. And if Ophion goes down, you have to play Excesorborn. I know you got to play bad cards, but I don't think cards should exist that say you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh. People are going to complain, well, what about Big Eye and Dracosac? Inherently, those aren't unfair cards. What makes those cards unfair is the ease and speed at which you can bring them out. If you devastate the Dragon Ruler deck, then you don't see those cards as much. So that leads me to Mermails, who can also spam rank 7s. In that deck, I think Dragoon should be put to 1, and Abyssphere should be put to 1. You can leave Megalo at 3, you can leave Lindy at 3, but you kill the search card and the free special summon card, and now the deck is crippled. And notice I'm leaving all these decks good. All the decks are good because Evil Swarm essentially is a very efficient rank 4 toolbox deck. And Dragons are a rank 7 toolbox deck. And Spellbooks is a control advantage deck, or pretty much a permission deck. And you can still do that permission stuff with Fate. You just can't do it as consistently. And, Fire Fist can still do their stuff. You just don't get the searches often. You have to be really particular with what you search with. With Tinky, you got to make sure you use your Cardinals. You got to be more stingy with popping off your Tinky with Bear or Chicken, or I guess Rooster is what he's going to be called now. And, I'm just trying to make all these decks, all these older decks, more balanced so that people will be incentivized, will have the incentive to play the Bujins and the Vampires and all these other slower decks that Konami is rolling out. I mean, damn, look at all the hype behind Harpies, and that shit didn't do anything. I mean, who wants to play Harpies when all your shit just gets faded every turn? Or you finally make a play, and then your shit gets big-eyed. I mean, really? So, in my opinion, those are some of the fixes that have to be made. Leaving the bigs at 2 ensures that Konami can sell the 10s, and then hopefully, maybe, possibly, people will use the big dragons as they were intended in their respective attribute type decks. Redox Gadgets, or Tempest Dragoonides, or Tidal Mermails, or Blaster Lavels, or Blaster 3-Axis Fire Fist, or whatever the fuck. And, you still have playable decks. The dragons are still playable. And, you still got the babies to do stuff. It's just that with the babies, again, you don't touch the babies because without ample ammo to ditch with them, they become incredibly inconsistent. And I wouldn't want to run 3 of each baby because that shit would just clog and just have a bunch of clutter. And you're running all these little shitty monsters. And that would just be annoying, just to make up for the missing one. I don't know. I mean, because once you go through your 2 bigs, then you'll be stuck with two babies that you can't do anything with. I guess maybe you can banish them for another big, but then you lose advantage, and then that thus furthers my argument for not hitting them because you make the deck incredibly inconsistent. Well, I shouldn't say incredibly inconsistent. You make the deck not as consistent as it is now, or at least not the big behemoth of advantage that the deck is now. Well, I'm done rambling. I've carried on for 10 minutes. I just got a little hype with the prospect of playing Glow Up Bulb again and being able to bust out my foreign debris dragons and foreign Glow Up Bulb, or foreign Lone Fire and Foreign Dandy. If you guys have one, I'd be really interested in picking up another Champion Pack Lone Fire. It doesn't have to be foreign, but that would be awesome if it was. I mean, one day, because I really like that new Rank 3 Plant Exceed. It's a Foolish Burial and a Monster Reborn for plants. And one day, that shit's going to be hot, and I want to play plants again, damn it. Oh, I know I said I'm going to stop, but if you guys really want to, earlier I was thinking about some stupid ass plays you could make if this was a deck. You know, different combos with 1-for-1 Dandelion Redox. You know, like if your hand was like this, like the kind of plays you could make with hands like this. You guys know how I do. I'm going to do my little tutorial, little demonstration. I know it won't mean anything because it'll probably never happen, but it would be cool just to make a video to see what kind of stupid fields I could make. Because usually when I do those videos, I don't practice. I just like start slapping down cards and see what kind of field I can end up with, and I'd be really interested to see what kind of field I could end up with that. Okay, I'm going to bed. Deuces.